Hello again, and welcome back to Wingot Plays Nomifactory. I have done a little bit in between episodes, but mainly I've just sort of expanded our crafting storage, and I've redistributed a little bit of the processing here, primarily so that we can have things like alloy furnaces with only a single, with steel ingot being the only recipe for this alloy smelter, but also this alloy smelter over here, which isn't being used for all that much, also making steel ingots, so doubling our throughput for steel ingot production. Otherwise, I've just sort of crafted a few things, and yeah, haven't done all that much else, except for, if we just pop upstairs, I've created up here this platform, which is effectively what I'm sort of thinking of as the control room, the control platform, and just sort of overviewing the whole factory from up here, or at least all of the active components of the factory. And yeah, I don't mind this design. I'll probably like make glass walls or something, make this all look a bit better. But from up here, from the control room, we basically have access to a crafting terminal. We can create patterns, and we've got an interface terminal, so we can even put those patterns into machines that we've got set up downstairs without having to actually go down to them. I've also put this dislocator pedestal right in the middle, but for the time being, of course, we don't have the Draconic Evolution dislocator and won't do for quite a long time. This is primarily here just to mark basically where the middle of the platform is, so that I can basically reorganize things. Now, what I was thinking though is it's probably a good idea to have a way to get around the base a lot easier. And in fact, if we take a look here, somewhere around here is the travel anchors. And travel anchors, I suspect, I think we've got everything we need to make those. I believe pulsating crystals have been automated, but it looks like I'm wrong on that. Oh, okay, I'd automated vibrant crystals, but not pulsating crystals. Okay, so I can easily fix that one. If we just go here, pulsating crystal, over here. Now, the pulsating crystal is going to require a diamond, and it's going to require some pulsating iron. So let's grab some pulsating iron. And while we're at it, apparently I can't tell the system to craft more of that because the system doesn't know how to make that yet. But let's fix that problem, because it's just an alloy smelter recipe, pulsating dust and iron ingot, both of which are passively being generated. And then we just need a random alloy smelter that can have that recipe. At which point it should... Oh, I put the wrong one in. There we go. We can tell the system just make 200 of that. Perfect. Now, this recipe is going to be a little bit more complicated because we're going to have to actually configure a cable down here as well. So what I've done here is this machine creates the vibrant crystal, can also create the pulsating crystal now, but what it does is that it outputs into this crate here. And then let's create a job to make a pulsating crystal. In fact, let's do 10. Good. Now, in that crate there, diamonds, pulsating iron ingots. Then we've got here the autoclave, which the autoclave is allowed to accept the diamonds. Perfect. And then the fluid extractor here is pushing into that autoclave, and it gets to accept the pulsating ingot. Perfect. At which point that'll extract, that'll go into there, and it automatically creates pulsating crystals. Cool. And now, hopefully, this will be the last time we have to fly up there, because now we should be able to make travel anchors. I think it's probably a a good idea to just encode the travel anchors into the system, because frankly I'll probably want to make these quite a bit. And then if we just put those into a molecular assembler, then we go here and we can tell it make 10 of those. Perfect. And it looks like we've got everything we need. Let's take a quick glance at Vibrant. It looks like Vibrant alloys, we're down to 96. So let's just tell it to craft another 100. At the moment, these Vibrant alloys and energetic alloys, I'm basically looking every now and then and trying to keep them at a few hundred, but in future I'll aim to automate. But there we go, travel anchor, and we'll set this one to be the control room. Perfect. And then when it makes another one, okay. The dark steel plates and the vibrant alloy plates, I do wonder if those are in the same compressor. Vibrant alloy. I don't see dark steel there. Huh, I don't see dark steel at all. Ah, there it is. Dark steel and vibrant alloy are in the same compressor. So the fact that both of them are needed for this recipe means that they basically can't both go at the same time. Just going to try moving these around a little bit. And then there's not really any point in cancelling this recipe at this point, because it's already got 35 vibrant alloy plates sitting in that machine. So we might as well just wait at this point. But it's made another travel anchor, perfect. And if we take that one, well, here's our control room. So how about we go, basically, we'll aim to go straight down from there. Let's look here. Okay, perfect. So that's our control room. And here would make sense for basement access. So let's put it here. And there we go. Control room. I don't think it's quite lined up, but it'll do for now. And there we go. Basement access. And we don't have to keep using our jetpack to go around the edge there. Perfect. And, oops. Up here, I might just put another one down here in like the LV area. Perfect, and then we can just put one more over here with the MV machines. Perfect, and then we can easily get from these machines, LV machines, control room, basement. And it's of course easily expandable. Arguably, deep mod learning down there. Not that we go down here super much, but let's set up that one anyway. Perfect. So, travel anchors. We've got travel around the base solved without having to use our jetpack constantly to fly around the edges. And we've got our control room here where we can basically access our terminals and control a lot of the base, or configure new things without having to actually head down there. Perfect. So, travel anchor's done. Now if we pop back into the early game, well, let's look back at our clipboard. So, we want to make polyvinyl chloride. And then we want to make polyvinyl chloride plastic boards, because that's going to double our throughput for plastic boards, which at the moment are the main limitation on making more refined circuits. If we tell it to make another 10 here, it's those plastic circuit boards that take the longest time, because if we take a look here, it takes 30 seconds for each individual plastic circuit board. Whereas if we use polyvinyl chloride, we'll create 2 every 30 seconds, or we'll basically halve the time required. And then this polytetrafluoroethylene, I did see somewhere on the Discord that basically said don't go for it. It's too much effort. I don't even see. I can't even really see where the initial thing to make it is. Oh, there you go. Tetrafluoroethylene plus air or oxygen, which is hydrofluoric plus chloroform. Chlorine is easy. Methane, I steam cracked ethane. So, I guess you could make it out of rubber wood. And then the hydrofluoric is hydrogen and fluorine. Fluorine can only come from electrolyzing something, and none of those look like something renewable yet. Hydrofluoric is what we're trying to make, I think. Yeah, so it doesn't really look like there's a obvious option, at least to automate it as an infinite process. But let's take a look at polyvinyl chloride. So, polyvinyl chloride can be made would help if I can spell. So, polyvinyl chloride as a fluid is made in a chemical reactor using vinyl chloride and air. So we can easily make, well, oxygen gives us an extra 50%, and we've got oxygen set up downstairs, so that's the process that we'll be looking at. And then vinyl chloride can be made with ethylene and chlorine. We've already got ethylene being made, and that's what's feeding our polyethylene. And so it's just a matter of adding chlorine to the system. Chlorine can be made with basically salt. You can electrolyze salt and get chlorine. Or alternatively, you can make salt water and make one bucket of chlorine from salt water, or one bucket from 2 rock salt or 2 salt. Now the salt water is 1 salt makes 2 salt water, 2 buckets of salt water. So 2 buckets of salt water makes 2 buckets of chlorine. So we get it's 2. No, it's 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1 because that 1 salt makes 2 buckets of salt water, and then you need 2 buckets of salt water to make chlorine. So for now, the easiest option is just to use plain old salt, which I think we've got some in the system, and we've got a bit of salt ore and rock salt ore. So what we could do, we'll crack this down. Pulverizer can make crushed salt ore, which can make, salt. So I think we'll let that get started while we go do other things. So yes, we'll start breaking down that salt. And what we need to do is we'll grab some of this salt, and then we need 1 chemical reactor to make vinyl chloride into polyvinyl chloride. We need 1 chemical reactor for chlorine and ethylene to make vinyl chloride, and we need 1 electrolyzer. So we need 2 chemical reactors and 1 electrolyzer. And, electrical motors, the system knows how to make those. Cool, well, it's already made 1, so then we just need to wait on it making 1 more. Now we're just waiting on copper cables, magnetic steel rods, perfect. So then we can make 2 chemical reactors and 1 electrolyzer. Advanced here. Oh, what are we short on? A silver wire. Okay. Make 100 silver wires, go. Perfect. There we go. Now that should be everything we need, other than we may need some iron conduits and fluid conduits in order to get this working, and so we should probably take a couple of filters as well, just in case. Perfect. Now, if we head back down to where not our deep mold learning, it's our basement, here we go. And we've got our passive ethylene generation here. Yep. And then what we can do is we can we'll put our advanced chemical reactor there. That's the one that's going to make the polyvinyl chloride. Now, let's move this torch. The advanced chemical reactor here is going to feed into that chemical reactor. This one needs oxygen and vinyl chloride, so that one is going to need chlorine and ethylene. Perfect. So, and then chlorine can come in from this oops, what did I just do? Oh, idiot. There we go. So we can put the electrolyzer there, which just needs to be fed salt. And then, of course, the one thing I did forget was power cables. So if we go here, we can grab some of this energetic alloy. Perfect. And we can go back here and expand out our power network. Perfect. There we go. So that should be electrolyzing salt. It's complaining about power, which I wonder, have we just got too many machines running on the same? Because yes, I could replace this with a 16x CEF and then put 16 amp cables. Oh, why does this not have a flux capacitor? Let's fix that easy. One flux capacitor, perfect. And we'll put that in there, draw up a lot of power. But I think this will still complain that it doesn't have enough power, even still. But for now, that creates chlorine. If we then configure it to output chlorine downwards, then that's getting chlorine, and then that also needs ethylene. Yes. So if we go here, we've already got ethylene being created here and being extracted on green and being put in there. No, this one's making oxygen. Okay. So if that's making oxygen, then this is going to need to be input from two different machines. Okay, fine. So step one, let's try and make it so that we don't accidentally void into that trash can there. And then here, this guy is making ethylene. Yes. No, it's inserting ethylene. Ethylene's being made there. Okay. So if we do that, this will allow us to input ethylene here. Good, it didn't fill with anything yet. So we can put this here, ethylene. Oops, what happened? There, ethylene. Perfect, good. So this can now receive ethylene as well. And then we just want to connect out the front here as well. So that, I could also loop that across the top, so that that oxygen there can be fed into here. Although, we may as well put them both onto this same interface. Well, the same, whatever it's called. Perfect. So it's been filling up with oxygen, fine. Let's get rid of that one, good. It's still filling with oxygen. This is producing more oxygen, perfect. And then this guy over here will slowly make ethylene as the ethanol feeds in from here. The question is, actually, so this one makes polyethylene, this one makes ethylene. And then that ethylene should be split. I might have to change this to actually round robin. So let's go here. What are you? You're making the sulfuric acid. It's this one that's making the ethylene. And so if we set that one to round robin, oh, it already was. Okay, good. Then some of that should make its way into here. Let's have a look. You are inserting ethylene. You are inserting... Oh, I overrode it. Ethylene. Perfect. So let's just grab that, fill the hole. And we'll check this. There you go. Ethylene, oxygen. Perfect. Now we just need to wait for some more ethylene to be produced. I don't think I can really speed that up at all because I need more ethanol. And one thing I think I will do is put another brewery or two up top here to feed more biomass, because that has always been the slow part of that process. So let's quickly just make another pair of breweries. Good. And then that can easily go there. We don't need you to connect to it at all. Perfect. Okay, and we need power for it. Good. And then it's also going to need fluid. What sort of fluid cable have we got here? Ender fluid, perfect. So if we grab here our ender fluid, which does apparently connect to other parts of the system. Good, we don't need that. Don't need that. Why is that not connecting to there? We'll take a look at it in a sec. You get to insert on blue. I'm pretty sure you're extracting on blue. Yeah, it is. It's extracting. No. There you go. It's extracting on blue. Perfect. So I might have to hit this with the Yetta wrench to get it to connect. I wanted to connect to this. Oh, that's an item conduit. Right. Never mind. There we go. Now it's connected. Don't extract or insert. Perfect. Now that's filling up with water, and now we just need to also feed it with some rubber tree saplings. So if we grab some item conduits, in fact, note there's no item conduits on it. Good. Then that gets to go there, which is connecting to the system. Good. And we can put an item filter there for rubber tree saplings. Quite possibly something else went in before I put that filter, although it wouldn't have, because it wasn't set to insert. Good, now that should also get rubber tree saplings, and so that will also make biofuel, biomass. And that would double our throughput in this system. Over here we do have some ethylene and some oxygen, which has gone into our PVC reactor there. But then we just need this here. That biomass will need to be fed into here. So we should be able to handle that with just a simple ender conduit, which doesn't need to talk to this one here at all, but can extract from there and insert into there. And then we just need to set that to always active. And it should extract. Extract, oh. Hang on, no, that's... There we go. Fluid always active, perfect. Good, and so that'll go into there, that'll go into there, and this will create PVC and also polyethylene. I do wonder... Okay, so we're putting in oxygen there, we're putting in ethylene there. I do wonder whether I could turn this one off temporarily, because we've got plenty of polyethylene in the system. Yeah, we've got almost 1600 polyethylene in the system, so we're probably best to turn that off temporarily. Let's do that so that we don't lose the connection. And then that should divert our ethylene over here. Now, why is that not running? Ethylene plus... Oh, because I need a integrated circuit. Polyvinyl chloride because it's exactly the same. Actually, no, it's not. Vinyl chloride. Is this one meant to be fed from chlorine? Oh, or is that ethylene meant to be going into here? Did I screw that up already? Let's try this again. So, end of fluid conduits there. Don't connect to you. Don't connect to you. Take that one out. We'll move that bucket in a sec. You get to have ethylene. Good. And we can take that out with this. Good. And put it into here. Perfect. Now I think that should run. Let's check. Chemical reactor. Ethylene and chlorine with no circuit creates vinyl chloride. Perfect. So that will work, but I think we need to fix our power cables. And so let me just quickly hop over here and work on making a 16x CEF, because I suspect that is where our issue is coming from. So 16 slot CEF needs energetic alloy conduits, easy. We have taught the system how to make those. Good, go. And it needs, what's it short on? Energetic alloy wire, which we have not taught the system to make those great big whopping ones, but I think that those are very easy to make because all you have to do is use a crafting terminal. And what we could do, oh, we're out of patterns. So let's tell the system to make some more. Perfect. And if we look at that interface there, we can go to our molecular assemblers and feed these in. Good. And then that's gonna, ooh, those patterns are being made pretty quick. And upstairs, we've got a terminal with 40 patterns sitting in it as well. So, but what we could do is actually set this up to create the energetic alloy cables using that same thing. So configuration 24, let's do that again. Let's get rid of that integrated circuit. And here, if we look at our assemblers or assembling machines, one of them here is coating things in rubber. So that one there should be able to make those energetic alloy cables. If we just pop back here, energetic, there we go, energetic alloy cables. So first up, let's make this CEF. So the CEF is going to need 2 of these. Go. Actually, no, it's going to need 2 of these, the 16 times. And it's just crafting, oh, okay, yep, it's using the wire mill to craft those. So 2 of these, go. Made 1, it's going to have to use the wire mill again to craft those. Perfect, so that's made the CEF, or at least that's made the CEF there, perfect. But then we also are going to need, let's call it 30 of these energetic alloy cables, although that would need to craft more energetic alloy ingots. Let's just do 18 for now. There we go. And in the background, we'll tell the system to make some more energetic alloy ingots, just because energetic alloy ingots are here in this blast furnace and take 20 seconds each. So we'll let that run in the background, but in the meantime, we should be able to grab these energetic alloy cables and use them to rebuild our power system over here. How's it going? So, and the slow part for this is just because this wire mill is, it makes 2 wires per craft, but it still has to make such a substantial amount. At the moment, we're waiting on 200 of these to be made. So about 100 seconds or so, and those will be done. And those are the only real slow bit. of this whole process. But I'll just pause and I'll see you in just a moment. And with that, we've replaced the CEF and the energetic alloy cables with these 16 times. So we've now got 16 amps being able to run through that network, which should mean that all of these machines, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, might be 14. All of these machines could run at exactly the same time without having an issue there. In the meantime though, we've produced a chunk of ethylene, a chunk of vinyl chloride, and a chunk of hydrochloric acid. I don't know why that has stopped running though. Ethylene. In fact, I think the easiest way to find it is to do this. Polyethylene, yep, polyethylene is made with ethylene and oxygen. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong recipe. It's polyvinyl chloride that I'm trying to look at. Polyvinyl chloride is vinyl chloride, which is 1000 ethylene and 2000 chlorine. So this is feeding chlorine into there. So that should not be inserting oxygen. It should be here, not doing ethylene, just doing oxygen. Good. And here we're going to need a separate filter, which is set to accept the chlorine it's already got. I don't think this one's meant to be inserting. I think this one's an extract only, because it needs the chlorine from directly above it. I think I'm losing my mind. Vinyl chloride. So the oxygen goes into here. We don't need the oxygen in there. Okay. Vinyl chloride is made with chlorine and ethylene. So we do need the ethylene to be fed into here. So we can put that there and give it the ethylene. That took far too much to try to figure out. There we go, it's getting the ethylene. Now we just need to take, out this oxygen so that the chlorine can go back into it. But in the meantime, the chlorine won't go back into it until we feed it some more salt. But that at least will clear out that wasted oxygen, and then we can put some more salt into here, which will produce some more chlorine. Perfect. Which will then, once that gets to 2000, there we go, allow that to produce more vinyl chloride. Perfect. Now we want the vinyl chloride to go out into our chemical reactor here, and we don't want the hydrochloric acid to. So it's probably best we could put a fluid filter on there, but we've already got our fluid conduits here. So let's just quickly grab one more fluid conduit, fluid filter. Perfect. Which will allow us to connect this here, put a filter on there, and that is going to take the vinyl chloride that's being produced right next to it as an input and not extract. Yes, and then that just needs to extract the vinyl chloride into there. Vinyl chloride plus oxygen, plus it'll need a circuit. Vinyl chloride and oxygen with a configuration 0 integrated circuit. Awesome. We don't have any spare integrated circuits, so if we just grab we've got these old primitive circuits, let's convert one of those, and I think that's a configuration 0, didn't it? We'll check just before I put this in. Yeah, configuration 0, awesome. So that can go in there, and that should make our polyvinyl chloride. Perfect. And now we just need a fluid solidifier in order to convert those into ingots. In future, we will have the Applied Energistics MV system set up, which will allow us to, in fact, it's right there, ME fluid system, and that will allow us to actually play around with these fluids in the system, but for the time being, we're just manually, well, not manually, we're just converting everything into a fluid. We don't need that piece there, good. And I just need a ingot cast, which for now we'll borrow from there. And what was that? Why is there oxygen in here? Probably screwed up before when I connected things. So let's just clear out this oxygen. Perfect. And I'll make another ingot cast. But there we go. That's making polyvinyl chloride bars. Perfect. And then all we need to do is extract those into our draw system and give it a draw. Perfect. So let's just put it over here, right next to the polyethylene. Perfect. So now we've got polyvinyl chloride bars in the system, and we can use those in fact, I shouldn't even need to come down here. I should just be able to, what we want to do is we want to change the plastic circuit board here, which is being made in the advanced chemical reactor. Let's call it let's say chemical reactor, good. So this plastic circuit board needs to use, instead of the polyethylene sheet, it needs to use the polyvinyl chloride sheet. And if we take a quick look here, polyvinyl, I had already taught the system how to convert those into sheets. So that should be able to work, and we can put that back into there, and it should just be able to make those plastic sheets using the polyvinyl chloride sheets. Perfect. So at that point, we've created PVC and we've created the PVC plastic boards, which means that next time we can work on making the surface mounted device chips, which should be quite nice for replacing our electronics and also allowing us to advance into the next tiers of circuits. That said, but we've already, of course, created refined electronics, so I'll tick that one off, but we'll go back and replace it once we've got the SMD components made. That said, I hope you enjoyed. Stay happy and healthy, and I hope to see you in the next one.